As we've talked about a lot over the last few weeks, the US government under a Trump presidency is eyeing the potential of buying 1 million Bitcoin over the next 5 years. Senator Cynthia Lummis, who's responsible for putting forth a proposal for a US strategic Bitcoin reserve, was on CNBC this morning talking about how the plan could be implemented without even printing any new money.
The proposal that I have and that President Trump has discussed about a strategic Bitcoin reserve or strategic Bitcoin stockpile where the United States would acquire and hold Bitcoin for 20 years. Because of the way that Bitcoin has been appreciating since inception, this would be an asset that could help shore up the US dollar as the world reserve currency and serve as a reserve that could be used to reduce the national debt significantly. You know, the American people are still hurting from inflation, from high prices, and they want the national debt reduced. These are ways to do it with an asset that is immutable, can easily be held by the federal government in a variety of vaults, and that states can participate in as well. So this is the gold standard digital asset, and a strategic Bitcoin reserve is the way to embed it.
You know, we got off the gold standard a long time ago. My question is how much you would spend tax dollars at a time where we're talking about trying to reduce costs. How much would you spend on Bitcoin as part of this reserve?
We wouldn't have to spend any new dollars. We have reserves at our 12 Federal Reserve banks, including gold certificates that could be converted to current fair market value. They're held at their 1970s value on the books, and then sell them into Bitcoin. That way, we wouldn't have to use any new dollars in order to establish this reserve. The United States already holds over 200,000 Bitcoin in the asset forfeiture funds. So that would be the initial source of Bitcoin. So no new money spent on this reserve.
Many inside the Trump cabinet see the very real possibility of this happening in the first few months of Trump's presidency. And as original Bitcoin developer Adam Back said in a post on X, a U.S. strategic reserve is when we see Bitcoin go from 6 figures to 7 in the blink of an eye. Michael Saylor was on PBD Podcast on Monday, and he laid out why the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve is almost a no-brainer from a U.S. prosperity perspective.
Senator Lummis, Cynthia Lummis, has put forth the proposal that the United States establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. It's a brilliant idea that she's presented to the Senate. The geopolitical logic here is simple. It's go where all the money is going to go and buy it first. And so if you knew that everybody was going to move to Manhattan and you could buy 20% of Manhattan in 1650, it would be a good idea. But maybe more to the point, the British came to the New World and they grabbed the New World, and that's what created the British Empire. So the United States runs the world's reserve currency, but Bitcoin is emerging as the world's reserve capital network. If you just want to keep your money forever, and everybody in the world loves that idea. I'd like to just keep my money forever. So the smartest thing for the U.S. to do is to buy up as much of that as they can. So you buy 1 million coin, that's 5% of the network. Buy 4 million coin, you got 20% of the network. Why not buy 20, 25, 30% of the network? If you buy the network, you can buy it for money which is effectively free. In fact, you could just sell the gold, swap it to Bitcoin, and then as Bitcoin becomes a 200, 300, 400 trillion dollar asset, right? You're sitting on anywhere from 40 to 80 trillion dollar gain. And so the logic of this is pretty clear. First of all the foreign capital in the world is going to be drawn into the Bitcoin network. So if the United States owns it, then that's like the same as the money coming to the U.S. You're just drawing capital from Russia, from China, from Africa, from South America. It's going to come to the U.S. on the Bitcoin network if the U.S. owns it.